Hello and welcome to Live with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Workman, and tonight we're going to talk about a topic that has caused a lot of controversy and discussion in college football, and that is Oklahoma and Texas leaving the Big 12 to join the Southeastern Conference. For that, I'm joined with my guests, Katie Beth Haydett and Max Vanderglass. Katie Beth, what are your thoughts on this?
So Oklahoma and Texas joined in July of 2021, and their contract doesn't begin until 2025. I feel like this brings up a lot of unknown questions for the SEC and Big 12. Ultimately, I think the key factor of all of this is money. Right now, the Big 12 is giving them around $34 million, and joining the SEC, they're going to get around $60 million. Max, what are your opinions on that?
So I completely agree with the statement that it's about money, but I also believe that it is about recruits, because I think Texas and OU are missing out on a lot of recruits to the SEC because they see the SEC go to the college football playoff every year, one or two teams even we've seen. And so a lot of these recruits who are going to programs to get to the NFL, want to win a national championship, are going to the SEC because it's a lot more promising than going to the Big 12, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that these games boost revenue for the schools, but they also boost revenue for the Southeastern Conference in general. It brings in the rivalry of Oklahoma and Texas. Texas is Texas A&M, old Southwest Conference rivalry of Arkansas and Texas. You get all these rivalry games that are already very prominent in the SEC, and you boost that even more with Oklahoma and Texas coming in. With that, though, do you think that the SEC is the most athletically competitive conference in the sport? What do you guys think about that?
I would have to say I agree with that, because we have Alabama and Georgia, which are always teams that are very high up there. Like Alabama has won multiple national championships in the past 10 years. So I feel like the competition that UT and OU are going to have, they might not be ready for.
I completely agree. And I think as it currently sits, Texas and OU are always at the top of the Big 12, meaning that with the Big 12, a Power 5 conference like that, if you win the Big 12, you have a good shot at making the college football playoff, which is the ultimate goal. And I feel like for them to want to leave that to go to the SEC, it'll be a big adjustment for all their programs, especially for a conference who's notorious at not having very good defense joining a conference that has very good defense every single year. So it'll be interesting to see in the coming years.
Another point that could be made with that is, Oklahoma, like we said, Alabama and Georgia are typically teams that are always in contention for the college football playoff. Oklahoma typically is as well. So that adds another factor there. My final question for you guys is, do you think that there's a possibility, with this reconstruction of the conference, do you think there's a possibility that any teams in the SEC get taken out? And if so, who do you think that would be?
I feel like there could be a possibility. I feel like Vanderbilt might be one, because they're kind of not talked about as much as the others, but I could be completely wrong.
I completely agree. I think if they're going to take a team out of the SEC, it'll be because of money coming in, and I don't think Vanderbilt revenues that much money for the SEC. But at the same time, I don't see them taking out a school out of the conference just because they are all about money, and the more teams you have, the more money you're going to have. So.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. That is all the time we have for this evening. Thank you, Katie Beth Haydett and Max Vanderglass, for joining us. This has been Live with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Workman, and we'll see you next time.